Guys, Sean here, Less Lethal for Dummies. Today I'm going to kind of do a multitude of testing, a kind of two birds, one stone kind of thing. I know I had done some videos regarding winder deletes. And truth be told, these mags have sat full since then. I did insert them into the markers and make sure that they were at least loading properly, but I haven't test fired. I got this new 26 CI tank for strike tank. It's an older, the heck do they call this? It's a Merc tank, I guess is what they called it. So it has a different kind of regulator on it. It's more of like a Titman style, you know, the old school spring type. And I haven't tested that either because when I filled it up the first time, the fill nipple leaked. This bottle is obviously, I think it's discontinued now. So it was old stock sitting on the shelf and the O-ring inside this nipple had dried up. So it was just, had a slow leak essentially. So I never tested it. I have since replaced that O-ring and refilled it. It's been sitting idle for, you know, maybe 2 weeks now at 3,000. So it's holding air. You saw me do the video on the Projectile handguard. I'm just gonna tilt that up there. And it is on there, nice and good. You can get a closer look. You can see all is well. The alignment's still just how I left it. You know, it's a tiny, like maybe a 16th inch step, but no, that's still better than running one of those MCS adapters. So I'm quite happy with that. So obviously with this new longer handguard, I'm going to need a longer barrel. So that's a given. So I'm also going to test two of my favorites and one new one that had been suggested to me, and I know there's a few users out there using them with good results. So first is this is a 14-inch Lapco Big Shot Assault, and it is a darn light 684 smooth bore. Really need to get a better light. Tried, tested, and true. My Grimberg, which is a smooth bore. It is 9 inches, 686 bore. And I mangled the end a little during a video previously firing some shape projectiles, but it appears to still be firing straight and I haven't had any issues, so I will be testing that. And the new one is a Titman TCR, which is a smooth bore. I have no idea the bore size. The TCR was designed for FSR, so first strike rounds. So I'm gonna assume that they didn't go with a big, large bore like a 688 or 689. I'm thinking it's like a 87 at the very largest. And it is supposedly 11 inches. And there you have it, 11 inches, including the non-removable birdcage. So the birdcage is on there, can't remove that. Let's just measure this Lapco because it was 14 inches with the flash hider. So it's actually only 13 without. And I'll probably reinstall the flash hider, but it does nothing for power. It's all looks, guys, all looks. So first things first, we're gonna test this tank for output pressure. Now, this is brand new. I filled it up once and it just depleted itself because of that leak. Repaired the O-ring and filled it back up. See if I can get that bubble in the right spot there. So it's saying 875. That's pretty tall for what's supposedly a standard output regulator. But like I said, I haven't fired this bottle yet. Just leaked out. So what we're gonna do is do all this testing, firing off a few rounds, and then we're gonna measure the output. I'm gonna take the tank off and measure it at the end and see if it hasn't settled at all. So going with the Weiner delete, I'm gonna shoot 1 mag of Grimberg Jewel V2, which are 8 gram. This one is just a spring, and I put a little rubber hose in there to try and keep the alignment of the follower. Since I've actually done that, so John Wixon actually sent me some bushings to test, and I definitely will, but I gotta finish where I left off here, guys. So John, I will get to that, and I know your plugs aren't in either. Again, these have been sitting literally in the garage, untouched. And this mag is, so no rubber or anything, but it's spring. I have double factory Valken mag springs in here. So I've intertwined them, stuck them all together, and it has some serious tension on these balls. Now with the double spring, I can only get 15 rounds into this magazine. So have 15 9.9 gram Canada hybrid riot balls and 15 joules in the hybrid mag. Probably gonna fire 3 or 4 off in each barrel, keeping with the same mag, and then switch mags and do the whole barrel exercise again. So let's get started. Okay, tank's on, air is not engaged at the moment. We are going to start with the Grimberg 9-inch. Now, this is sort of always a go-to barrel for me, and I don't know if it might be too short, not the right look that I'm going for with this handguard, but we'll have a look-see together here. So, if I don't stand in front with my black shirt, you can see it's got a nice little poke on the end. Never mind that black nub, I still haven't dealt with that, but I mean, yeah, it doesn't look terrible, guys, but I'm not sure that is the look I'm going for. And this is gonna be a little bit based on the output, or sort of my feet per second that I achieve. So first, we are going to start with the hybrid Canada riot balls. There we go. And we lost the ball. Come here. Got away. That's okay. It's been a long time since I lost the ball, since I did my little detent hack. And that could be attributed to the mag tension, spring tension in here. But that's a minor nuance. So it might be difficult to chrono. I can't really get at the edge of the barrel there, but. .296, and it sounded kind of funny. This marker hasn't been charging a little bit here. Ooh, that ball is rough. Maybe it was a ball. Maybe not. That one had some snap, sounded better, but the feet per second was the same, 296. $296. Wow. The big tank, holy smokes, makes such a huge difference with the consistency. It's been a long time since I saw like bang, bang, bang like that. And that's bypass. And pardon me guys, I'm just gonna, for safety reasons, I'm gonna eject my mag here. Marker's on safety, but I don't wanna stick my finger down the barrel with the magazine in there. Because the Grimberg's a little bit short, I had to do the old as Rune would say. Oh, and by the way, get well soon, Rune. Sorry, that was a mouthful. You know, you'll be missed. I know you'll be back. Just take care of yourself. All right, we're gonna jump to the Lapco 684. I'll save the TCR barrel for last. So 296 with the Grimberg. I'll put my 2 rounds back in here. Same balls, same tank. And yeah, no drum mag this round, for obvious reasons. Okay, there we go. That's a 14 inch, or 13, however you want to look at it. It's gonna be 14 with a flash hider. I actually really like this look. I think it just suits it well, but performance is gonna be a deciding factor. So 296 with the Grimberg. $324 with the Lapco. $322. $320. $324. So that's hovering around 50 joules with the 14 inch. Now, I mean, not comparing apples to apples here, guys. The Grimberg barrel is only 9 inches. And the beauty of that barrel is that it performs very well for its actual length. I mean, this is pretty long, but it's putting up good numbers. Next, TCR, 11 inch of unknown bore. And if somebody knows for sure, drop a line in the comments. One of you guys with your fancy bore gauges, which I do not have, even cheap ones are not inexpensive. So that one's pretty good. I really do like the look of that. It's got just enough poke, but does it perform? Same mega balls, same tank air. 11 inch DCR, 9.9 gram. 298. $300. 296. $296. Well, I do have to say it is comparable to the Grimberg, granted 2 inches longer, so it's, again, you know, for you guys building short builds, you know, having a shorter barrel is nice to have, but that's a good barrel for 20 bucks. I am actually quite impressed with that. Yeah, I paid like $130 for one of the new Valken rifle barrels, and honestly, I looked down the barrel, I should have brought it out. The rifling is junk. Like, it looks like a guy hammered that rifling through there. For 20 bucks, you can't be beat with that. PCR barrel. It's a win, but power-wise, I'm still chasing that Lapco power. Okay. Put the Grimberg back in. And we're gonna load up the jewels. Now I suspect, of course, jewels are gonna do really good in the Grimberg barrel, as they are bore matched by the man himself. So, Jewel V2s, Grimberg 9-inch, in the hybrid mag with the single spring and the rubber bushing, we'll call it. And just of note, so how many rounds did I put out so far? I just dropped 2 on the table, so that was 13 shots. Oh, there we go. This was filled to 3,000. And we are at 2,500. Jewel V2, Grimberg barrel. 328. $328. $328. Pretty damn consistent, right? So it's got to be that barrel. Again, safety on, you guys, just because this barrel's a little short and I got to stick my finger in the end. Yeah. So that's something to be said about QC over there at Grimberg. That barrel, in both those tests, put up like exactly the same numbers. Using the jewels, well, not the same numbers, same consistency, using 2 different projectiles that are 2 different bores. So that's quite impressive. Skip to the Lapco. Now, this 684 is on the tight side for Jewel V2s. It'll shoot them really well, but what I found in the past, not this particular barrel because I'm just testing it now here, that I lost a few feet per second because they do drag a little, they're a little tight. Jewel V2s. Jewel V2s and a 13 or 14 inch Lapco, however you want to look at it. $358. And I lost my at 356. Let me just go flip that up. I didn't put my clamps on. So normally, guys, I hang I hang this over, so I fold it in half like that and then just tuck it over my closet rod here. And then I use these clamps, clamp it on, but actually what I've been finding lately is the clamps cause it to kick back more, so I've been experimenting running without them. Let's fire up a couple more. Dual V2 still in the Lapco 14-inch smooth bore. 356. Pretty consistent. Couple of flyers here, and well, not flyers, but deviations in feet per second. And I'd probably attribute that to them dragging a little bit in this barrel. Not deal breakers though by any means. But you can see 684, even though it's not recommended by Kurt in any means. But I know lots of people do use 684 with success. Last but not least, Tippmann TCR 11-inch. And Jewel V2s. $332. $332. $334. One more. $334. I think I got exactly the same amount left that I left in the last magazine here. So I had one in the chamber. Oh, had a couple extra there. Well, in any case, I hope that was helpful. TCR barrel, once again, it did pretty good for 20 bucks. But it's a little bit longer. Well, it's 2 inches longer than Grimberg. And obviously the Lapco, probably on paper, once I do the calculations, is going to be king here, but it's much longer and to some degree unwieldy. But I'm actually, like I said, this first time firing it with this tank, and it's quite balanced now. I mean, it could be because I've added this big chonky handguard on here. This is a Hare Arms handguard, by the way, but or foregrip. But I feel quite comfortable holding it. But I don't think I'm done yet, guys. Oh, I said I was going to measure the output on this tank. That's the beauty of the Valken. That's what I love. Charles, I'm sorry I hated on you so much for these Valkens, but you know, sometimes you just gotta eat crow. I'll suffer through the wrist pains, and it's not terrible. And wrist pains are my problem, not your guys' out there. Those Valken Ultras, they do really well, and they're convenient. Let's check the output on this bottle now. We fired off. Now let's see, let me have a look at this. So I still have over 2,000 in there. I know it's hard to read those tiny little numbers. I may replace that gauge, something a little more fine-tuned. But that was like 25, well, 26 rounds. So plenty enough air for that ADN drum that I have, which is the whole reason why I picked up this bigger tank. So you can see now, it's closer to 825. It's like 835 if I could even put a number on it. It's under 850. Obviously the tank's depleted from being full, but I would venture to guess once this piston rig starts cycling, that spring breaks in a little bit. And the next time I air this bad boy up, probably gonna see like an 825, 850 output pressure, which is standard for an FS bottle. Hope that was helpful, guys. I will have some more M17 content. I got lots of stuff to do. I know I start way too many projects, and I know you guys hit me up with, well, what happened with this? What happened with that? Obviously, both these mags cycled flawlessly in the one test I've done since then. I will continue to use them now that I sort of got idea of which barrel I'm gonna go with. But you just have to stay tuned.